Alright, so we're checking out another large power station here. This is the VDL Power HS2400. And before I get into all the specs and features of this product, I do want to mention that for the capacity that this has, it's 2048 watt hours. This is the best price I've seen in this category. So if you're looking for something in the 2 kilowatt range in capacity, and does have a 2400 watt inverter as well. Don't think anything else out there beats it for the price. It's currently $1,029 on Amazon right now. At the time of the recording of this video, I don't know how long that price will last. Maybe it's a Black Friday sale. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I've not seen a better value for something of this capacity and capability at this price point. If you see another one, let me know in the comments below, but I just want to let you guys know that if you're looking for something of really good value, and of course this is a pretty good power station in my opinion. We'll cover everything of course in detail in this video. I recommend that you check it out. The link will be in the video description. Let's go ahead and get into this. So as I said, it's a pretty large power station, weighs 48.5 pounds. I'll put the dimensions here up on the screen. Kind of, traditional boxy shape here. Got these nice handles to carry it around because it does weigh almost 50 pounds. There's some plastic sleeving on both of these for grip. The plastic is okay. It's not this kind of like the typical rugged material that you see in a lot of power stations that add a lot of weight. It's I think sufficient enough in terms of plastic in terms of the quality, but not bulky where it adds a lot of additional weight. I think all of the weight here is in the batteries that are inside here. And the batteries in here are the lithium iron phosphate, of course. Absolutely the best technology currently out today, and probably the safest as well. It's very common right now. I'm sure those of you that are looking into power stations have seen that everything is pretty much lithium iron phosphate nowadays, which means you're going to get a ton of charge cycles. I think this is at least 3,500 to 80% over 10 years. So yeah, it's gonna last you a long time, and you're gonna have plenty of capacity and not much degradation over a long period of time, thanks to the chemistry. So in terms of what you get with the power station, of course you get the power station itself. You get a manual, user's guide, a warranty card. You get an AC cable for charging up the power station. You get a car adapter here, which has an XT90 connector, so this is for charging up in your vehicle. And you have also solar charging cable, because it does have an MPPT solar charge controller in there, also with an XT90. And these are MC4 connectors for your solar panels. Over here on the left side, you have some ventilation fans and vents, and then you have these covers here. This is where you're going to plug in your AC for charging. It charges up to 1100 watts. So it will charge to 85% in like a little over an hour and 100% in about 2 hours. And this is your XT90 connector here for your solar charging. It does charge up to 500 watts max. And that's also where you're going to plug in your car charger as well. On the top here is a cover. You can lift this up and there's a little compartment here where you can store all of the included cables. On the right hand side there is another set of ventilation fans, and that is where you're going to have your 6 AC outlets, and there's a little cover there for the AC outlets. Everything has covers on them, so it does have a little bit of weatherproofing. It isn't like waterproof, but I guess it would say splash proof to protect the connectors. All right, so here's everything that's in the front. Everything has little covers over them. So you have your DC section and your little button here for turning the section on and off, and it does light up. So there's your DC section. You have your USB section here. You got a strobe light, so you can turn it on. You got SOS mode, strobe mode. So you can use that just to sort of ambient illumination. You got your power button to turn the power station on and off. You do have to long press that to turn it on and off. Nice big display here. Does show your input in watts and output in watts capacity, and also shows you a little bit of how much time it estimates that the power station will last based on the current power draw. So at 42%, it's estimating about 70 to 73 hours of power on time. Of course, there's no power draw right now. Taking a look at these different connectors here on the DC side, you have your cigarette lighter adapter plug-in stuff there for your standard 12 volts and 10 amps. You have another section here at 12 volts and 25 amps. It's an XT60 connector. So this is going to be useful for those of you guys that are into FPV and have those hobby grade chargers. 12 volts, 25 amps. You can use up those RC chargers to charge up your batteries out in the field. And then you have another port here. There's two 5521 barrel connectors, and these are 12 volts and 3 amps. Got a whole bunch of USB ports here. So we have USB-A, of course, 12 volts, 2.4 amps, standard USB-A. And we have USB-C here, power delivery at 20 watts. And then we have another one here, the USB-C power delivery at 100 watts and USB-C power delivery at 20 watts. So I like the fact that they have a lot of USB ports on this one, and actually a lot more USB-C ports than USB-A ports, because these days most of our devices are going to be USB-C, so good to see that. So like many other power stations on the market, it does have the UPS mode, where if you are powering something off of the AC inverter, it does have a switchover time of about 10 milliseconds. So as long as your device doesn't require a 0 millisecond switchover, this will work for powering up those AC powered devices. And so if you have a power outage and you have something plugged into this power station on the AC port, and you're basically the main grid goes offline, this will switch over and then go to battery backup within 10 milliseconds. So that's a pretty standard feature, and I think 10 milliseconds is a little bit better than average compared to others. So in general, the manual is fairly good, but I just wanted to show you the specifications in the manual. You can pause the video if you want to read over these in detail. I did cover these already in the earlier part of the video, but in case you want the actual specs, here's the everything here in the manual. So of course this power station does have all of your standard safety features like overcharge protection, overcurrent protection, etc. So while this does have the ability to output 2400 watts continuous and up to 4800 watts in burst mode, once you hit the sort of limits of the inverter and you exceed the 2400 watts, the power station will of course shut off. The inverter shuts off, you get a beep. Pretty standard, and of course that's all part of the normal protections that are built into the BMS of this power station. So obviously in terms of like what you can charge with this, is because there's a wide variety of things. Of course, all of your devices, DC powered, USB powered, and AC powered, you can charge up to 16 devices all at the same time. You can, of course, be charging the power station while discharging and charging other devices at the same time. Of course, that's pretty standard. And of course, with a large 2048 watt hours of capacity, you can power on devices for a fair amount of time. It really just depends on how much all of your devices are drawing, the current, and in terms of the watts being drawn. And then you just have to just calculate that based on how much time you have available based on that capacity, and that'll give you the runtime. It also will show you it on the display as well in terms of an estimation. But yeah, obviously how long your things are going to last on this really depends on what they are, how many things you have, and how much power they're drawing at the time. Because it could last a really long time or not very long at all if you have an extremely power hungry device. It really kind of depends on what your situation is. Anyway, once again, this is for this capacity and capabilities. I think this is one of the best value power stations out in the market right now. If you've seen something better, let me know down in the comments in terms of value. Would be interesting to see what that would be. But this is the best one I've seen. Not really sure why this is not being marketed as much as a lot of the others, typical like Jackeries and Blue 80s, that kind of stuff. Maybe it's because it's a smaller company, perhaps. I don't know. Quality seems to be pretty good overall. I've had any problems with it, and yeah, it's something that I think I'll be keeping around for a while. I may do a long-term review later. Got any questions, let me know down in the comments below. That'll do it for this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.